Yes, well, welcome aboard, Lady Natasha. It is the night after, the day after, the night before, here in Yarmouth, alongside Shep. You know Shep, my mate. He's got his boat here, Coco. We're just going to jump on Coco and get some fuel, and then we're going to whiz over to Poole in Dorset and have a night there before heading down to Weymouth to do the show on Friday. This is a novel way of getting to work, I imagine. We're all feeling a little bit jaded today. Very icy woman with me moaning about my dreaded behaviour. Me and Shep, when we get together, we're like a pair of kids, we really are. Anyway, so I'll be speaking to you today when we get there, and we'll talk about what's going on in the papers, and we'll do a bit of filming going over as well. You're going to enjoy this. So here we are on the wonk with the camera, because I didn't bring the tripod, and we're in Poole something Haven, Town Quay. Lots of boats, very tight to get in, as you can see. Here's us now coming in. I come forward in because I couldn't be bothered to change the fenders round, and Shep is alongside us. We had a lovely trip over from Yarmouth last night, where a few drinks were had, I have to say, and so a bit foggy this morning, to be honest, but a bit of a lumpy sea woke us all up. So I'm actually talking over some of the shots that you see. So here's us coming in, and we're now in Poole, going to an Italian restaurant tonight, and then setting off tomorrow to do the gig on Friday night in Weymouth at the pavilion there. I think there's about 40 tickets left. That's the word round the campfire. But I'm looking forward to that. And I got a bit seasick today, funny enough. And they say the best way to cure seasickness, do you know what it is? Sit under a tree. Yes, well. So the boat's covered in salt. I've washed down one side. I've got to try and get round the other side and do it later, but I can't be bothered. Look at me, I'm like a tomato. She said, why didn't you put the factor 50 on? I said, well, I couldn't find any. Well, you should have asked me. So there we go, we're in the poo. Anyway, Vicky's been sending some stuff through, and you have to say that the talk at the moment is, there's lots of things, and they goodbye Sven Goran Eriksson, the England manager. He could pull the birds in, couldn't he? He must have been carrying, don't worry about that, he must have wore them long shorts when he was playing, or tuck it in his sock. But he had Nancy Delalio, he had her, the 4x4, forget her name now, Swedish girl, but I met him once, he seemed very nice, sort of Swedish. You know, they're nice, aren't they, Swedish people? Anyway, so he's gone now. I thought it was a lovely thing that David Beckham went to see him and basically said goodbye. That was nice. I'm a big coward when it comes to anything like that. There's a few people been snuffing it lately, aren't there? I'll have to watch myself. I'll probably be joining them the way things are bloody going. Don't you worry about that. Well, there's been a few people in trouble again now. This is about two-tier policing yet again, and this is the subject we're going to talk about today, is the Notting Hill Carnival. What is it about? When I was in Weybridge the other day driving Natasha's daughter to the station, I saw a girl of colour walking along with a flag round her back. It was yellow and blue with a star. I don't know what it is. It's something in Africa, isn't it? And so I said, what's all that about? Why is she wearing a flag? Oh, she's going to the Notting Hill Carnival. And so then there was more and more and more. All people of colour and of a certain age were getting on the train and going up to the Notting Hill Carnival. What is that about? Do white people go, or is it just a celebration of Afro-Caribbean culture? It's interesting, Afro-Caribbean culture, because my mates who are black and from the Caribbean heritage they're a bit wary of Africans. Africans don't seem to like them much. I remember Miles Crawford, the brilliant comedian Miles, here he is. Yes, he said that he had to go and do an advert where he had to play the part, an actor, of an African man. And the African said, why are you doing it? You're not African. And they sort of disliked him a bit. But that's not racism because they're the same colour. That's disliking someone from another country, like us disliking the French or the Germans or the Belgians. But that's not racism. That's just not liking them. I think that's called xenophobia. I've got it all. Every xenophobia that there is. A misanthrope. That's me. A hater of people. A hater of fucking sunburn at the moment. Anyway, let's talk about the Notting Hill Carnival. A police spokesman said it was wonderful. They even put some wokey thing on there, didn't they, about how nice it was. And then another guy, a spokesman, or was it one of the bosses, saying, we're sick and tired every year of saying to the families of people that have been stabbed, you know, we're sorry, and it was mostly peaceful. Well, there's 385 arrests that went on. As firearms were people arrested for firearms. There was people... loads and loads of people arrested for these zombie knives that now the Metropolitan Police are saying, if you get a zombie knife and hand it in anonymously, we'll give you a tenner. Good God. What is all this about? It's absolutely stupid. You don't need a zombie knife to stab someone. You can do it with a potato peeler, for heaven's sake. It's not the knife that does it, it's the person that does it. You know, hand them in and get a tenner for them. So all this stuff's going on and it's wonderful, but and people will say, when all them black people get together, there's going to be crisis, there's going to be whatever. I don't think that's true. I think when any people like that get together, a group of people, no matter what colour, it's going to be... But, you know, do the police, did they do any stop and search? Is it, again... two-tier policing? So these people that have been stabbed, how many have been arrested? Did we arrest the people? Do we get a picture of them? Do we see anybody like that? Are they going to be fast-tracked? Or are the courts full of people, 50-year-old grandmothers that have put on their website, I don't think that the boat should come to this country. Well, that's a hate crime. We'll bang you up. You're very easy. But we're not sending the policemen into the Notting Hill Carnival because they'll only end up twerking and dancing with a load of people, showing what sissies they are. But they can't arrest people because we're too frightened and we don't want to upset the black community. What is going on? I mean, this really is fucking ridiculous, isn't it? And I see today that Keir Starmer has done a speech. And every time I see a government minister on the television, they're always talking about the black hole. Conjures up a few jokes there that I'm not going to mention. But they always blame the Tories for leaving a big hole. It's much worse than we thought. So what we're going to do, what we have to do, is to stop the fuel allowance for the pensioners. But that's really the Conservatives' fault, because they shouldn't have left the country in such a mess, should they? A mesh. Did I say mess? Mesh. Okay. I think these teeth, there's certain words that I can't say properly. It's lovely, isn't it? Well, so that's the Notting Hill Carnival. Would you go up there? Would you let your children go and dance with all them folks up there? And it's bright and it's wonderful and it's the biggest carnival in Europe. Mayor Khan would love it, wouldn't he? He's got to be a figurehead there. But there's lots and lots of trouble that goes on with that. But there again, there's lots and lots of trouble that goes on with football hooligans, but not all football fans are football hooligans. So there you go. Right, now then. We're going out tonight to have a bit of grub and then up at Sparrows Fart in the morning. And because I've got a problem with WeTransfer, it sends some things and it doesn't send other things. I'm going to go to Weymouth tomorrow by boat and I'll film a little bit of that and we'll do the rest of the news there and I'll give it to Vicky who can get it up. I'll try and send this, but the chances of me actually using technology is absolute zero. But anyway, we're going to go over, do the rest of this on Ustream. You can get a chance to see my brand new show here on Ustream before anybody else. Yes, my latest concert up in Great Yarmouth. The greatest hits of Jim Davidson in the Swimming Against the Tide tour. There's been no mention of a disabled games. Now, I wonder why that is. Have they all got better? Anyone from the north of England? Well, f*** off back there. You can now rent this on Ustream. Go to the shop and get it before anyone else sees it.